Tax-friendly retirement. Countries where your money goes further. 2026. Why taxes matter more after 60. When most people hear the phrase tax-friendly retirement, they usually react in one of two ways. Either it sounds shady, or it sounds like a magic loophole that solves everything. Neither is true. Tax-friendly retirement isn't about being sneaky, and it's not about paying nothing. It's about being strategic. In a world where retirement income must last longer, healthcare costs are real, and mistakes are expensive to undo. After 60, money isn't just money. It's security. It's healthcare access. It's flexibility. It's the ability to say yes to life without fear. So today, we're talking about tax-friendly retirement in 2026, not as a shortcut, but as a life-design decision. Not hype, not hustle, not move tomorrow and save everything. Just clarity. Part 1. What tax-friendly actually means for retirees. Let's clear this up early. Tax-friendly does not mean tax-free. For retirees, tax-friendly usually means one or more things quietly working in your favor. First, how retirement income is treated. Some systems tax pensions lightly. Some treat Social Security type income differently. Some tax investment withdrawals more gently than earned income. What matters isn't headlines. It's how your income is treated. Second, everyday tax drag. Sales taxes, property taxes, recurring fees, and mandatory contributions quietly erode fixed income over time. Even small percentages matter when income is stable but not growing. Third, total pressure. Sometimes tax rates are similar, but daily life costs less, so your money lasts longer without aggressive optimization. And fourth, clear and predictable rules. This one is underestimated. A system that is stable and understandable often beats one that is technically lower but constantly changing. Confusion is expensive, financially and emotionally. Part 2. The retirement tax traps nobody explains clearly. Most tax mistakes retirees make aren't reckless. They're incomplete. The first trap is optimizing taxes while ignoring healthcare reality. A place can be tax-friendly and still financially dangerous if healthcare is expensive, fragmented, or hard to access. Any tax strategy that weakens healthcare stability is not a win. The second trap is assuming retirement income is treated the same everywhere. It isn't. Pensions, investment income, rental income, and annuities are often treated very differently depending on the country and residency status. Retirees must understand income type, not just income amount. The third trap is residency confusion. You can live somewhere without being a tax resident, and you can become a tax resident without realizing it. That's how people end up with dual filings, reporting stress, or unexpected obligations. Tax-friendly retirement requires residency clarity. And the fourth trap is trading quality of life for lower taxes. This is the quiet regret. A retiree moves purely for tax reasons and ends up isolated, stressed, uncomfortable, or far from care. Then they spend more coping, traveling back, or moving again. Cheap taxes don't feel good when life feels small. Part 3. The ReInspired Retirement Tax Scorecard. Instead of chasing best countries, we use a scorecard. Every country, for your situation, gets evaluated across the same lenses. How retirement income is treated, everyday tax pressure, healthcare affordability and access, legal and institutional stability, residency clarity and predictability, administrative burden, long-term rule consistency. No single factor wins alone. Retirement planning is about balance, not bragging rights. Part 4. The main tax-friendly country. Types, 2026. Rather than pretending there's one perfect list, retirees usually explore patterns. Some countries are attractive because of clarity, order, and institutional trust. Others because daily life costs less and feels calmer. Others because income structure matters more than tax rates. And some because of very low tax headlines, which require extra caution. To make this practical, let's ground it in real countries retirees commonly research. These are not recommendations. They are starting points for smart research. Part 5. How retirees actually start comparing tax-friendly countries, 2026. At this point, most retirees don't ask for the best country. They ask something more practical. Which places do people usually compare, and why? This matters because early comparisons shape expectations, and bad comparisons lead to bad decisions. So rather than categories or rankings, think of this as orientation, a map of how retirees begin their research, not where they end up. Some retirees start by looking at countries known for institutional clarity, places where tax rules are clearly written, consistently enforced, and rarely retroactive. These systems aren't cheap, but they reduce surprises. For retirees on fixed income, that predictability itself has value. Other retirees begin from a different angle. They notice that in some countries, daily life simply costs less. Housing, food, transportation, and basic services place less pressure on monthly income. In these cases, the question isn't, how low are taxes? It's, does my money last longer without constant optimization? Another group of retirees starts with income structure. They receive pensions, dividends, or investment income from outside the country they live in. Here, the critical issue isn't the headline tax rate. It's how income is classified, sourced, and reported. These systems can work very well, but only when rules are followed carefully and assumptions are avoided. And finally, some retirees encounter countries famous for low or no income tax. These places often dominate online conversations. But low tax does not mean low complexity. Residency requirements, healthcare access, cost of entry, and lifestyle fit all matter here. This path demands caution, patience, and realism. These are not recommendations. They are common starting points retirees use to understand trade-offs. The mistake is stopping here. The smarter move is using these comparisons to clarify your own priorities before committing to any category at all. That's where the real decision happens. How retirees choose tax-friendly without regret. Here's the calm adult approach. First, identify your income types. Write them down clearly. Taxes depend on what kind of income you receive, not just how much. Second, set non-negotiables. For most retirees, these include healthcare access, safety, residency clarity, and legal stability. If a country fails a non-negotiable, it's out, regardless of tax rates. Third, compare regions, not just countries. Taxes, costs, and access can vary dramatically within the same country. Averages mislead. Fourth, calculate the real total. Housing, healthcare, medications, dental, transportation, taxes, residency fees, travel flexibility. One number never tells the truth. And finally, build a plan B. Retirement is not the time to trap yourself. Plan B is peace. Part 7. The True Wealth Rule. Let me say this clearly. Never trade health and stability for lower taxes. Health is the ultimate currency. If a place supports movement, sleep, access to care, and lower stress, your retirement becomes richer, even if taxes aren't the lowest. That's true wealth. Not just keeping more money, but keeping more life. So let's ground this conversation with real reference points. These are not recommendations. They are starting points for research. Countries retirees commonly compare because they represent different tax systems and trade-offs. The goal is not to copy someone else's choice. The goal is to understand how different systems work, so you can judge what fits your income, health needs, and tolerance for complexity. Category 1. Predictable, high-stability tax systems. Some retirees prioritize clarity and predictability over chasing the lowest possible tax rate. Countries often explored in this category include New Zealand, Switzerland, and Netherlands. These systems are not known for being cheap. They are known for clear rules, strong institutions, and fewer surprises. For retirees living on fixed income, predictability itself has value. When the rules are stable, planning becomes calmer. Category 2. Lifestyle value countries with manageable tax reality. Other retirees are less focused on the lowest tax headline and more focused on overall life cost. Countries frequently explored here include Portugal, Spain, and France. These countries are not tax-free, but housing, food, transportation, and daily living can reduce pressure. So money often stretches further overall. The key here is staying current. Programs evolve, rules change, and outcomes depend heavily on residency status and region, not just the country name. Category 3. Income structure-sensitive countries. Some retirees receive income from outside the country they live in, pensions, investments, or mixed income sources. In these cases, how income is classified can matter as much as how much income you have. Countries often explored for this reason include Panama, Malaysia, and Thailand. These systems can be favorable if compliance is handled carefully. They reward planning and clarity. They punish assumptions. This category is best approached slowly and conservatively. Category 4. Traditionally low-tax or no-tax jurisdictions, high caution. Yes, Retirees ask about these too. Places like the United Arab Emirates or Monaco often appear in tax conversations. But low tax does not equal low friction. Healthcare access, climate tolerance, residency stability, and cost of entry matter enormously here. For most retirees, this category requires extra scrutiny and very little romance. These countries are not the answer. They are examples of different systems. The smartest retiree does not move for a list. They move for alignment between income type, healthcare access, residency stability, and daily life. Tax-friendly retirement is not about paying the least. It's about protecting longevity, peace of mind, and flexibility. Checklist for 2026. If you're considering a tax-friendly retirement move, ask yourself, how is my retirement income actually taxed there? What is my healthcare reality? Access, cost, and speed. What is my real monthly total cost? How stable and predictable are the tax and residency rules? Does my body feel calmer imagining daily life there? If you can answer those honestly, you're not guessing, you're designing. And this brings us back to the bigger picture. Taxes are only one piece of retirement design. But if they're ignored, they can quietly shorten everything you've built. If you want, comment tax, and I'll share a simple retiree scorecard you can use to compare countries without expensive mistakes. And in the next episode, we'll explore geo-arbitrage for retirees, how to live better for less without turning life into a constant travel project. Until then, stay re-inspired.
I hope this video brought you value and re-inspired you. If so, please subscribe, hit like, and leave a comment. And if anybody you know could use a little re-inspiration, please send it to them. Thank you so much for watching.